What if I told you that some of the biggest things holding back your paralegal career aren't about your job title, your employer, or even your attorney? Maybe you're doing one of these 5 things that's stalling your career. Hi, I'm Ann Pearson, founder of the Paralegal Bootcamp, where I develop training for paralegals who want real-world skills that add immediate value to their careers. Today, we're diving into what I call the most common career stallers that I've seen over the years, and most importantly, how to break free from them. Because here's the truth. Your career isn't going to magically level up because you stick around long enough. You have to take intentional action to grow. So let's talk about what might be holding you back and how to fix it. Let's start with the big one, waiting for permission. This one sneaks up on you. You might not even know that you're doing it. It sounds like, I'm just waiting until they give me more responsibility, or I don't want to overstep, or I'm not sure they want me to do that. You know what all those statements have in common? They put your career growth in someone else's hands. And while it's important to respect your chain of command and boundaries, you also have to be willing to advocate for yourself and your development. I'd add here that most attorneys don't know what most paralegals are capable of. So instead of assuming that they just don't have the work to give you or they don't trust you to do it, if you take ownership of your work, like what I teach in the Paralegal Bootcamp courses, if you do that and you're working like a project manager instead of a task master, then a week or two before that deposition, you email or walk by your attorney's office and say, I see we've got the ABC deposition coming up in the XYZ case. I was going to start preparing the depo prep notebook for you today, unless you already had someone working on that. That gives them a chance to let you know that there's maybe settlement negotiations going on that you didn't know about or something like that. And it's better than asking, can I? Or is there anything you need done on the ABC case? Because they think like an attorney and they're going to think what they need to get done today on the case, not what a paralegal needs to get done on the case. Here's what I would call an action shift. Start by identifying one area that you'd like to grow in, and then take one small step this week to show your interest. It could be as simple as asking to shadow a senior paralegal, taking notes on the process, or offering to help on a project, even if it's outside your usual duties. If they say no, that's okay. You've planted the seed, and they'll start seeing you differently. Okay, number 2, living in panic mode. This one is incredibly common, especially for newer paralegals. Panic mode is that constant feeling of playing catch up, being unsure of what to do next and jumping from one mini crisis to the next. It's exhausting and it's unsustainable. But most importantly, it keeps you from becoming the calm, strategic legal professional for your team. Here's how you might know that you're stuck in panic mode. Every project is a rush project because it's coming from the attorney right before it's due. You're nervous about asking too many questions and looking like you don't know what you're doing. Your days feel like you're playing a game of whack-a-mole. But here's the twist. Panic mode isn't always caused by inexperience. Sometimes it's caused by a lack of training or a lack of systems. So do this. I'll call this another action shift. Get the training or start building out checklists and workflows that help you standardize repeat tasks. If you're new to the firm and maybe your firm doesn't have a solid training program for you, then go get the training. Can't afford it? Well, can you afford to lose your job? I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound harsh here, but that's the reality. You've seen the social media posts, I'm sure. You've seen them as much as I have. Paralegals who get fired 6 months into a new job complaining that they didn't get any training. Look, it's not just because I own a company that trains paralegals. Ask any paralegal out there. Your paralegal certificate did not teach you the skills to be job ready. They gave you the terminology, the foundation. They rely on the law firms to give you the on-the-job training. So if you're not getting on-the-job training, then you need to find some training. All right, let's say it's not the training. You're getting that, but you don't have systems in place. You're playing whack-a-mole because of a lack of systems. Ask yourself, what are 10 things you always do to do XYZ? Let's say prep for a deposition. Write them down. Do you always format motions a certain way? Create a quick reference guide for yourself. Also, begin each week with a 10-minute planning session. Look at your deadlines, think through your priorities, ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will make the rest of my week easier? Confidence is going to grow when you stop feeling like everything is on fire and start feeling like you're driving the fire truck. Number 3, this is the stalling. Believing time alone equals skill level. I've heard paralegals say, well, I've been doing this for 15 years and I want to respond with doing what exactly? I've met and hired litigation paralegals with 5 years of experience who can run circles around a 15-year litigation paralegal. Because here's the truth. Longevity doesn't equal skills and growth. Time on the job is only as valuable as the growth that comes from it. So you can be in a role for 10 years and never learn how to draft discovery responses or attend a trial or use e-discovery software. On the other hand, someone who's been on the job for 2 years but constantly pushes to learn new skills, solve bigger problems, take on more responsibility, they're growing. So here's an action shift for you. Schedule regular, what I call self-check-ins, quarterly or at least twice a year. Create a kind of growth map for your skill set. What new tasks have you taken on this year? What tools or tech have you learned? Have you taken any leadership roles beyond what you normally would do? Have you contributed to process improvements? Then challenge yourself to stretch. Ask to help prepare exhibits for trial. Volunteer to co-present in a training session. Find one area of the legal process that you're not feeling confident in and go learn it. Okay, number 4. I think we're on number 4. Yeah, number 4. Letting your tech skills keep pace with the oldest partner in the office. I talk about this in the free AI masterclass that I held. I'll actually put a link to the video here. So what I mean by that is that you work at a firm where the guy in the corner window office is usually dictating what technology the firm uses. Okay, fine. And so because of that, you think that's all you need to know. Well, good luck finding a job in 5 years when that firm closes and all of the other firms are light years ahead of where your current firm is at. I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. Career security over job security. Go do a Google search right now with the words paralegal boot camp, career security over job security, and you'll get the podcast episodes and the blog articles where I talk about this. So let's do an action shift for number 4. Start by identifying the technology tools used most often in your practice area, not in your firm. If you're in litigation, that might include Relativity Air, CaseMap, Trial Director, or even Adobe Acrobat. Acrobat. And then pick one tool each quarter to learn better. Not just learn it better. Watch tutorials on YouTube ask a vendor for a free trial, join a LinkedIn group for legal tech users. Stay curious. All right, last but not least, number 5, staying in your lane. I call it, that's how we've always done it. It's tempting to keep your head down and do what's expected. But if all you ever do is follow instructions, you're never going to stand out as a leader or an innovator. Think about this. Attorneys are problem solvers by nature. They want to work with people who bring ideas and, don't just follow directions. When you suggest improvements or offer creative solutions, you're adding value. So take this final action shift. Start with a small process, right? Is there any task that takes longer than it should or frustrates you? A way that documents are filed, maybe, that create confusion and make them hard to find? A gap in communication that causes missed deadlines? Document that issue. Then brainstorm 1 or 2 alternatives. Then pitch your idea in a constructive way, like, hey, I've noticed that we spend a lot of time reformatting client intake forms. I did a test run with a fillable PDF version. Do you want to take a look? Even if your idea isn't implemented, you're planting the seed. You've shown that you're thinking like a strategic problem solver, not just a taskmaster. All right, so let's recap these 5 sneaky habits that are holding you back or stalling your career. 1, waiting for permission. 2 was living in panic mode. 3 was believing that time alone equals your skill level. And 4 was letting your tech skills go stale. 5, accepting that's how we've always done it and not doing anything to change anything. You deserve a career that moves forward. You deserve more than just getting by. But you have to call out these habits that are stalling your career and replace them with proactive, growth-oriented actions. And if you're looking for a way to do that, I just launched a brand new training for paralegals who want a proven roadmap, to become the confident, high-performing paralegal that every attorney wants to work with. It's called the RISE Legal Support Mastery Program. You can find it at paralegalrise.com. It'll forward you to the course. And I'll put a link in the description below. This is going to be a game changer for your career. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.